recently put a shout out on my Instagram as to what you guys would like to learn, and someone came back saying shoulder hooping. Now, I totally appreciate why you want a tutorial on that. I am absolutely going to do a tutorial on shoulder hooping. However, it's important to realise that shoulder hooping is essentially chest hooping with arms added in, so I'm going to split it into two, and I'm going to have this first tutorial be on chest hooping. So if you're already hooping around your chest, then feel free to just skip forward and go to the shoulder part. If you can't yet chest hoop, then this is absolutely where you need to be, and I'm going to get you started on that. So, if you've tried chest hooping already, you've probably realised that it's really quite challenging. And the reason for it is because it's a completely different movement from how you hoop on the rest of your body. If you think about how you hoop around your knees, or how you hoop around your neck, or your waist, or even your hand, it's a back and forward motion that you're doing. It's like a push-pull. And the reason that it is a push-pull is because either that area is pretty round in the first place and it's easy for a hoop to travel round, or it's such a small area that it really doesn't matter about the shape, it's just easy for the hoop to travel. This is not true of your chest at all. You've got a rectangle and it's really big. In relation to the hoop, it's a big space. You've got a flat plane, and it is flat because this is chest hooping, it's not boob hooping, right? You've got a flat plane across your front, and then you've got another flat plane at your back. It's really difficult for a hoop to travel around a rectangle, so we have to work extra hard in order to make it happen. Because of that, a push-pull isn't going to work. We need to go round and round, which is exactly the opposite from what you're taught in every other aspect. But a round and round motion is what we're going for. And round is really hard because this is not an area in which we usually have much mobility. It's an area in which you carry a lot of tension. It's usually really quite tight, and we usually can't make that much of a distinct range of movement in that area. So it takes some time to develop it. Because of that, if you feel like your range of movement maybe isn't where it could be, then I would encourage you to do the following. As you're standing, cooking dinner, or waiting for the kettle to boil, or whatever it might be, imagine a diamond on the floor. So you've got a point in front of you, a point to the back of you, and a point to either side. And keeping your arms out of the equation, just imagine pushing your rib cage in each of those directions. And at first it won't feel particularly amazing, but with time the movement will become more distinct. And once you feel like it is a bit more distinct and like, you know, it's just clearer, then what you can do is you can smooth that motion out. And that's exactly what we're going for when we're chest hooping, is that round and round motion that we're drawing with our rib cage. So, there are two ways to get into chest hooping, right? Well, actually there's three. We can talk about three. The first way is a gradual approach, which I absolutely encourage you to do. And the reason for this is because that range of motion that we were just talking about, it's so against everything that we've previously learned in hooping, and I think it's a tall order to ask you to get it right away. So I think a gradual approach is really a good idea. If you want to go for a gradual approach, I would recommend that what you do is start via your neck, right? You don't need to be hooping on your neck for ages, you just need a couple of spins. And by hooping on your neck, what I think is a good idea is for you to then look for the gap. For me, I hoop to my left, so I'm going to be looking for the gap on my right hand side. And then elbow first, I'm going to bring my right arm in. Now, what's probably going to happen the first few times, or if you're me, the first few 100 times, is that as soon as you bring your arm in, the hoop's going to fall. Okay? Don't be discouraged by that. It really is a gradual learning process. But with practice, what will happen is you'll eventually realise what the range of motion is that you're going for in order to keep the hoop going. This is a mix between, again, more of a circular movement with your ribcage and also kind of a nudge with your armpit. So that's your first bit, is getting the hoop going around your neck, getting your arm in, and then managing to keep the hoop going. By the time you've got that, you're halfway there. Really, you are. Your next goal is then to look for the gap on your left hand side and bring your left arm in. Again, you want this to be elbow first, because if you go like hand first, it's a longer move, and 9 times out of 10 the hoop's going to contact with your arm and just hit you in the face. So elbow first, bring your left arm up. Now, as you can see, that was really quick and I wasn't moving right, so the hoop went to the floor. It requires such a fast range of motion. So if you're finding that the hoop's just kind of falling a lot, you can make the job much easier for yourself by turning with the hoop. Now hopefully you can see that I'm drawing a rib cage, that I'm drawing a circle with my rib cage in order to keep the hoop going. And by turning with it, I don't have to move as fast, whereas if I stand still, I have to go really quickly in order to keep the hoop there. So that's it. That is chest hooping. Your other reasons, if you're feeling particularly brave, are to do it via your waist. This involves waist hooping, and then you're going to turn with the hoop. You're going to turn in the same direction as the hoop as you duck down and bring that circular motion into it. So I'm waist hooping, I'm turning with the hoop, and then I'm going to duck down and make that circular motion in order to bring the hoop up. This takes a lot of practice. If you're just completely gung-ho about the whole thing, then your third option is simply to hold the hoop up, pretty much at your shoulder blades, like directly under your armpits, and just give the hoop a push in exactly the same way as you would if you were waist hooping. So, I hope all of that made sense, and I hope that you can go away and develop the skill really well, and then you'll come back soon to learn shoulder hooping with us.